Well, here we are. Tonight, we got to change our clocks back.
Tonight?
Or tomorrow night.
Is it?
Tomorrow night? Yes, tomorrow night. I'm sorry, not tonight. Tomorrow night.
This weekend. Tonight, but
How
I
about
thought it was
this weekend?
It is this weekend, though, eh? I totally missed that.
It is. And
My goodness.
just a little bit about the show, folks. Of course, if you haven't been listening, our show has been broadcasting in the Okanagan since 1983. We're proud of the fact that we're the longest-running garden show in Western Canada, and perhaps further on. We're also recognize our listeners in Victoria, who we've been with now for over a couple of years, and also introducing our Penticton listeners as well. So just give us a call when you get a chance, 1-888-780-4273 if you're from out of town. If you're in the Kelowna area, 250-862-2525. And now the tips and the plants of the week.
You betcha.
We talk a lot about this. Try and embrace the proper names for plants. Learning the botanical names opens a whole new world for you. You don't have to use them all the time. However, it's sure great to be familiar with them. Takes your gardening experience to the next level. My plant of the week are two. It's the geraniums and pansies, which are really doing well still in our garden. Yeah. Geraniums and pansies are still just doing their thing. They love the cool weather.
And here we are in November, and they're still happy.
Yep.
That's fabulous. Well, it's really nice to have those plants that are still blooming out there in the garden. All right, I also have a tip and a plant this week. And my tip of the week is that we're approaching the time of year when the leaves are almost off the trees. So you want to keep an eye around your house. Once most of the leaves are off, or if you want to wait till they're all off, that's fine. Then you want to clean your gutters. So it's one of these things that we sometimes forget about, but it kind of makes sense that the most important time to clean your gutters is right after the leaves fall. You don't want them to clog up your gutters so that they fill up with water, and that becomes a major issue, and you get ice damming up under your shingles. It causes a lot of damage, so you want to make sure you're on top of that. At least make a note, put it on your fridge, and go out there and check. All right, now my plant of the week is my beautiful yellow Christmas cactus. It's a Schlumbergia, and I know we've been talking a lot about that the last couple shows, but it's burst into full bloom, and it's just amazing. I just did a video on it just yesterday, and I recommend checking that out about how to get your Christmas cactus to bloom, and you got to see this thing blooming. Holy man, it's incredible. It's quite the show. Anyway, that's my tips and plants for this week. Remember to check growercoach.com and Grower Coach on YouTube.
Right on, Cam. You know, last year at this time I was drying apples, like we're doing apples and pears right now from Hazeldale Orchards. They're really beautiful fruit. And it's just, I just love doing it. We got freezer bags, and we got them in the freezer in small bags. We pull one out through the season. We're still having a little bit left from last year. But,
oh, wow.
Of course, this year's no cherries, just apples and pears mainly. But last year with one of our callers, Pam, she mentioned apple cider vinegar. So she suggested I try some. So, of course, old YouTube, how do you make apple cider vinegar? So I followed the instructions to a T right through, had it cooking away, started it in September, October, something like that. And, of course, it became ready by April. Nice. And now I've got I've divvied out into small bottles so I can have it in the fridge. And I have a tablespoon every morning.
Yeah, it's supposed to be very
tasty.
Good for you.
You get used to it. It's quite tasty. It's quite vinegary, but it's certainly tastes like apples, fermented apples kind of thing. Yeah. But it's supposed to be good for the gut.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
Apple cider vinegar.
Fabulous. Well, there you go. It's nice to have some homemade goodies, some things that you know what's in it. Yep. That's the thing I find with a lot of things that you purchase these days. You just don't know what's in it. Even you read the ingredients and you go, I wonder what all that stuff is. It doesn't sound like a potato and a carrot or it doesn't sound like things that are just sort of normal items. I wonder what that's for.
Well, I know. And that's why growing food in the garden and storing it and preserving it and canning it and keeping it where'd the root cellars go? I mean, I think all houses that are being built today should be mandated. They have to have a root cellar.
I agree. You never know with where we are in this world. Like, hey, you never know what could happen, and if power goes out, you're kind of in trouble. Especially in the summertime. But the root cellar, man, it always stays at constant temperature regardless.
It's perfect, and it's not only good for keeping fruit, root crops and things like that. It's great for keeping root, like dahlia roots, dahlia tubers, and geraniums and all sorts of things you can keep in the root cellar.
Yep.
It's a good thing, and they're not difficult really. We used to have one growing up. We had a root cellar. My in-laws had a root cellar, and it's where you put your stuff in the wintertime, your carrots and all that sort of thing, potatoes. And
cool. Love it.
We did mention the time change earlier, and it's coming up tomorrow night. I think we change our clocks.
I think it's usually on Saturday night after midnight, so it would be
that's right.
tomorrow
That's
morning.
What I'm saying. Tomorrow morning, yeah. So,
it's right. It's like my birthday. It's like, is it at midnight or is it at 1 or is it no? It's 1 second after midnight. That's when
that's
it
your
begins.
birthday.
Yeah, it's 1 second long. It's not a big birthday, but it's kind of nice.
Well, it's
what happens when you're a leap year guy.
Yeah. Yeah, every 4 years, you're actually a young man.
Yeah, I am.
So, okay, just we don't want to open a controversy or anything here, but all this talk about, oh man, why are we flipping? Why do we flip? There is a reason behind it, why we go back. And I know it's troublesome for some people. Some people, it knocks their whole clock system or whatever they call it off. I haven't found it problematic over the years. Couple of days kind of to adjust back into your rhythm. But here's the deal: if we didn't change back to standard time right now, okay, if we didn't change back,
this is how light it would be when you look outside right now.
It would be
It's 8 o'clock and it's light out.
It's 8 o'clock. It would be. If we
didn't change, it wouldn't get light until about now because the days are still getting shorter.
I know. At 8:30 in the morning, it's pitch dark.
It's going to be dark
if we don't change, because at 7:30 in the morning in the wintertime, it's pitch dark still.
Exactly.
And so it would be pitch dark at 8:30 in the morning. And and then
but in the evening
spring,
it would be light, a little bit more light until about 5:30 instead of 4:30, because 4:30 is typical for us here in the north.
Yeah, we're
in the south of the north. Have you ever noticed that? The south of the north.
Yeah, we're south of the north,
because we're in Canada. Canada's a big country. I don't know if you noticed, but when you go farther north, it's actually just dark year-round up there, And so when you come down here to the border, like we're just above the U.S. border, and it's the days really change a lot.
This is a garden show, Ken. I guess we should.
We're getting a little.
Give us a shout, folks. Give us a shout. Get some gardening going here, because that's what this is all about. I just want to remind people that the trip to the Northwest Flower and Garden Show is on, and the bus is starting to fill. So if you want to get on board with us, you better give Sun Fun Tours a call, because they're the ones that are going to be able to get you on the bus with us. And you just give them a call, 250-763-6133, or you can go to sunfuntours.ca and check it out, because it is a heck of a great trip to go on. We've been doing this for many, many years, and Northwest Flower and Garden Show has huge landscape displays, huge areas where you can buy plants and look at plants and look at what's new.
And all kinds of products, Like it's just gardening products, a huge display. And what I like about that is sometimes you see the new items, things that are new that they're just introducing, or, companies are saying, well, this is our new line of pruners or trimmers or whatever they are, and it's really cool to see all that stuff. And greenhouses, they even have like greenhouses in there.
Yeah, several greenhouse suppliers there, and very, very enjoyable, and to see them.
And you didn't talk about the plant displays.
Oh, and the plant displays,
the bonsais, and those, the lily displays and the orchid displays, and it just goes on, and all this stuff happening in the middle of winter. It's like spring.
Yeah. The thing is, some of you do have to use your drool cup, because you can't buy everything all the time, all the plant material. You have to be careful what you buy, because there's certain nurseries that can sell into Canada, certain nurseries can't. And when you do buy a plant, you got to go through the process. Yeah. It's no charge for it. Yeah. You don't have to pay the normal $50 to get a plant thing and more, because the show looks after that for you.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits.
You do have to do the paperwork, because otherwise it's not good.
And that's just for living plants, but everything else is good to go. Yep. And I love the flower arrangement competition at the entrance. Really cool. It's just amazing. Cool. Yeah. Like, it's world class. And what was the other thing that was really cool was the speakers. The speakers, the seminars.
The seminars are incredible. 110. Well, we're only there for 2 days, so we don't get the full 110 seminars, but there's a real good choice. we're going to have to take a short break. We do invite your calls. Join in the fray here. We love talking to you on a Saturday morning. A little gloomy outside there. It's a little gloomy. How'd you do at Halloween, Ken? I dressed up. Well, I was Santa.
Yes, I saw you on Facebook.
I gave out the candy in a Santa uniform.
Yeah.
Very confusing for some children. But anyway,
yeah.
We're going to take a short break now, and we'll be back with more of The Garden Show. You know, Ken, plants have a memory, and we were just chatting about this because I took another picture of my favorite reversion. They're called a reversion. My favorite reversion that I pass by, I drive by just about every day on Ethel Street, and it's an Alberta spruce. Which is a Picea glauca.
Those are those little dwarf things.
It's a sport.
Small.
The Alberta spruce was a sport.
Yeah.
From a Norway spruce.
Yeah, which is a weird deformed offshoot.
Yeah, we're a sport where it comes off something different.
Different.
And so the nursery guy looks at it and he says, "Ooh, that looks kind of neat." So they take that and they propagate that. And they keep working with that, and they keep working till it comes fairly true. So every time they plant a seed or do whatever they're doing to
usually cuttings or
grafting, whatever,
grafting,
whatever they're doing, the thing comes true. And so that was where Alberta spruce were developed. The little conical shaped spruce that you see quite commonly planted in the Okanagan and elsewhere down the coast as well. Well, I walk by this tree quite a bit. On my little walks around the neighborhood and down Ethel Street. And about, 10, 12 years ago, I noticed on this Alberta spruce a little shoot coming up that was a Norway spruce. Yeah. It was towards the top of the tree, too. So it wasn't coming up from the base. It was coming up towards, so it was a true reversion. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you'll see a tree, like I think you saw, we were explaining that young guy birch that was a big, huge tree. It was coming below the graft.
Yeah,
probably.
Yes.
So that wasn't a reversion. That was coming from below the graft.
It was a bypass.
It was a bypass, bypass operation. Yeah. But the reversion is when the actual tree is thinking, I want to be what I used to be.
Yeah,
and it actually changes.
Yeah, Picea glauca. That's a white spruce. Yeah, very cool.
And so now I brought this latest picture in to show Ken, and it's like. You can hardly even see the Alberta spruce anymore. It's just
these giant spruce
coming out of it.
Yeah, it's really quite amazing. It's an amazing lesson, is what it is, and how humans do things, and then sometimes they revert and they go back when it comes to plant material. And but it's also,
it happens in nature.
Yeah, sooner or later we should be identifying that and ideally cutting that out to keep it the way it was designed to be. But if you miss it and you let it go, then after a while it just goes back to being a great big tree again.
That's right. Another common reversion is the Drummondi maple.
Yeah, variegated maple. Yeah,
you often see a variegated maple with a big green branch showing up inside it.
And the green branch grows way faster than the other ones because it has more chlorophyll. It's just got more green in it. Yeah. Whereas the variegated leaf one is slower growing. It just doesn't have as much chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is sort of like the gas pedal on that tree.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of the Japanese maples, the low-growing dissectums, that are like this, and coming up through them from the rootstock.
From the graft.
They're not reverting. They're from below the graft.
That's rootstock,
I've got my little ginkgo biloba that's spreading. It's a very unique ginkgo that I got from Helen, and it's a very spreading type ginkgo. It doesn't go upright, and sure enough, coming up from the base, straight up ginkgo rootstock, and that's what it is.
And so the rootstocks are typically seedlings. It's just because it's the quickest way to propagate something. So that's why most plants that are grafted, they're actually clones. So that means you can take a tree that has a certain trait and you can clone it by grafting it, because all you need is a tiny little piece of that to make another one of them. But the seedlings are often easy to grow, but seedlings have genetic diversity, so that means that every single one is slightly different. And so it's funny, almost all trees, the only trees that are not, and it's funny that a lot of ginkgos are grown from seed. But now, I think more and more are grown by cuttings or by grafting, just to get away from the female trees because they're not so nice to have. But yeah, just like the old Russian olives are seedlings, and I think the golden rain trees,
they're seedlings.
They're seedlings typically, but they do have a lot of these really cool hybrid ones now that are grafted, and they're pretty
they?
Cool. Oh yeah, they stay kind of this vibrant fluorescent red and orange color all year round.
The foliage.
The foliage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you ever see a golden rain tree that's Coleroteria paniculata, and when they're first leafing out, they get this really vivid orangey kind of look to them. It's really cool looking. And now they've got them that sort of stay like that year round.
And so they've just been messing with the seed, right?
It's probably selection, and then they would cross pollinate. I imagine several that stayed orange, and then get the progeny from that, and then those ones would stay orange and pick the best of that, and then keep on doing that until they end up getting something that's really, really quite orangey. And one there's several varieties that are like that, but one of them specifically, I think they even call it fluorescent fire or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but pretty cool. And then that's how it goes in plant business. It's people watching for things, and then the knowledge of being able to hybridize and to work with the plants. The plant breeding has come a long way. Like, wow,
and it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we had two friends that have since passed away, but Ray Elders and Dick Bassett were both huge lily growers in Kelowna, and they were quite well known in the lily community outside, and they would literally breed lilies. And I got such a kick out of the fact of they would take a little sheath and put it over the pistil of a plant after they'd pollinated it.
Yeah,
they'd hand pollinated it. And then put a sheath over it. It was like a prophylactic on the
pistil,
lily.
Yeah, for the lily.
Stop any other pollen from coming in there, right?
Yeah, it's where the ovary attaches.
Yeah, and then they would wait, and they get the seed from that, and they grow it, and it would take 5 years.
Yeah.
After doing that process to finally get the progeny from that connection, and. 5 years, and so, but they really, really enjoyed doing it. And he made some. He was so proud. Dick Bassett was so proud of what he developed called Orient Pets, cross between Oriental lilies and trumpet lilies.
Yeah,
and they were called Orient Pets. Tall. Well, we got
some
pictures.
Of them are like 12 feet tall.
We got a movie of
tall.
you and me and CHBC TV doing a thing at Dick Bassett's place, and pictures with us with Dick. In his lily bed.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah, he had some amazing, and they were so fragrant. Many of them were unbelievable, and huge trumpet flowers.
Yeah.
It took on a lot of the traits of both the lilies, but that wasn't common. Like, those are very unique.
Oh, very, very. He had all sorts of things too, and he would develop, in the species. In other words, the Oriental lilies. He would develop certain varieties in the Oriental lilies too. But he actually changed made a new species, Orient Pets. Is that Lilium Orient Pets?
And some people were lucky enough to get a few of those. I always wanted to get one, but I always thought, I'll go see Dick at some point.
Oh, I know. But, we put things off, don't we?
Time flies by, and then the garden overfloweth.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we take a break here, I want to tell you another interesting phenomenon that I saw not too long ago when I was doing some of the fire files. I found a stump of a Douglas fir, and it had occluded.
Yeah,
just a stump. It was just a stump, and it was occluded on the top. In other words, occlusion is when a wound heals over. We use the word heal, but it's not really healing. It's occluding. It's covering up the wound, right?
Yeah.
Well, this tree was cut off, and it occluded, and I thought, what? How can that be?
Yeah.
So what's happening there, Ken, is it's joined together with another by root.
Yep.
The root to another
grafted,
Douglas fir that's still intact, that hasn't been cut. And that Douglas fir, it's part of this.
Still keeping it alive.
It occluded.
Yeah.
So I thought it was quite a neat phenomenon.
Yeah, that's been something that's sort of recently been discovered, is that all these, especially Douglas firs, they all link underground. Their roots all interlink. Yeah. And then they'll share everything from water to nutrients and all that, all the good stuff between each tree, so that they all kind of, can help them out. And if one tree's a little bit weak, well, they all kind of pitch in and get that tree back into shape. Or if a tree is young, they'll kind of hold its hand as it grows and give it a little extra food to help it along. And in this case, the tree was actually cut off with a chainsaw.
Yeah, it was cut off.
And then the other surrounding trees kept the stump alive.
It was just like cutting a branch off. It was like cutting a branch off the tree.
That's really fascinating.
It's very fascinating.
I wonder if anybody else has got a picture like that. Like, that's kind of a unique thing.
I think it's a unique picture.
Yeah.
And also, and I can't even tell you where I found it, where I saw it. I just took the picture. But the other thing is aspens are the same thing. Some of these aspen groves are
poplars.
thousands and thousands of years old. Mm-hmm. They've been there for all these years. So they can go back genetically right back to 1,000 years old, early, because they're all hooked together and they just keep living.
They keep sending up suckers.
They're not saying we're going to have a 4-foot wide aspen tree. No, it's just that they're all
a bunch of little ones. Yeah, that's why they call it aspen grove. And those species, those varieties, and those particular plants, they do grow in a forest of themselves. Yeah. And that's why it's difficult for people to go and buy like a trembling aspen, and which is Populus tremuloides, and take that tree, put it in your yard, and try to keep it one tree, because that's not how they grow. They grow as a grove.
Yeah,
so
they want to.
Why is this suckering all over my yard? It's like, well, that's what it is. Like, they don't grow as one tree; right. They grow as hundreds of trees. So
it's their natural way to do things.
Yeah, and so it's tricky how I do see that a lot. I've been doing some videos recently of landscaping faux pas, and they're just YouTube shorts, but it's still it's easy to find those. Mm-hmm. It's easy to find strange plantings and weird things that people do, but that's one of them that I should really mention, because it is one of these things. Because I know we get a lot of complaints about poplars, and poplars are shooting up all over the place. It's like, well, don't plant them in rural. You really need to have like a big old farm somewhere where they can grow as a grove.
They can be a pain.
Yep.
Root barriers is about all you can think
about.
Root
barrier, that's one good word.
Yeah. We're going to take a short break now. We got Dan Bruce waiting in the lines to give us a chat, see what he's got up his sleeve today. And we will be back with The Garden Show after this short break. Well, here we are back on a kind of a dreary day. It's quite low overcast here. Foggy. It's almost like we're at the coast. How's it out in Lake Country there, Dan Bruce?
Well, it's raining. That is good.
Oh, we love rain. Mm-hmm. We just love the rain. Il pluie. Il fait de pluie.
No, everything out here is fine. Next year, I'm going to have a bit of a celebration in June, because it will be the 40th anniversary of building the house here.
Oh, wow.
Moving in.
40 years? Yep. Don't tell me that, Dan. Don't tell me that, because I remember when you built it.
Yes.
40 years. Oh, man.
And, of course, people plant stuff in the garden, and then they have their vegetables, and they harvest the vegetables and so on. But I'm actually enjoying a new piece of furniture. Because about 39 years ago, we bought a Dawn Redwood from Burnett's Nursery, which is an outfit in Kelowna. You might remember that.
I seem to recall that outfit, yes.
Yeah. Well, I bought Metasequoia glyptostroboides, Dawn Redwood, and it got to about, pretty close estimate, about 60 feet high. Mm-hmm. And it died.
There was no warranty on that, Dan.
Well, there was, but there was trouble with the management. But we had the tree taken down, and that was done by our friends Cody Tree Services. Mm-hmm. And I'm now enjoying a live edge tabletop.
Oh, nice!
From that wood. A friend of mine came out here with a portable sawmill, and we milled the wood.
Wow, that's awesome.
What was even more awesome was carrying the boards up from where the tree was, where the vehicle was. That took a bit of effort, but we did it. Anyway, as I said, now I have this tabletop in the living room, homegrown.
Wow.
Well, that's really cool, Dan. I'd like to see it. I've never seen. Well, I do have a chunk of that tree sitting beside my greenhouse, which I'm going to do something with at some point, so I'll know what the grain looks like. But it's not something I've ever worked with in the woodworking shop. So, what does the grain look like? Does it remind you of anything, or?
Well, Chris chose a piece that had a branch coming off of it.
Right.
So we've got that as the live edge, and it sort of looks like like a flat piece of ground with a cliff and then a sort of a beach type look to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can look at it and imagine all sorts of things, but he did say the wood is very soft.
Okay.
So it's
like a cedar, or like a
it won't take much bashing about. I mean, it'll dent.
Right, but it's cool to have. Now, a person could do the old epoxy resin thing too to make it. Really
some resin was used on this because there were some gaps in it, and they have been filled. But the surface of the thing looks sort of, I guess you would call it a sort of a satin finish. It's not slick, shiny, but it's...
Yeah. No, it's really neat. You know, the wood that I really want to get a hold of, and I'll put it out there to anybody in the business that's tree cutting business or just a homeowner that has a nice upright juniper that has a decent 6-inch trunk on it or whatever. Boy, I'd love to get a hold of something like that, because I did get some when the city of Kelowna chopped down some junipers. Down at the near the foot of Bernard, there was some spreading junipers, and man, I made some nice candle holders and things out of it. It's got that red heart, that center, beautiful wood, and it's quite hard.
There is a piece.
You know where there's a piece?
Yes.
Ah.
Aha.
Well, then you just keep me informed on that, Dan, because I'd like to get a hold of one.
Well, when one of those big euphorbias disappears from your greenhouse, it might suddenly get replaced by a piece of wood.
There, I see. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you got to watch Dan Bruce when he comes by to see the plants. You know, he's got big pockets that will handle prickles.
Yeah, exactly. Got to frisk them before you go, but wear gloves.
Wow.
Dan, we're going to have to go, but I always appreciate your call. It's always interesting. And thank you. We'll see you next week.
The thing just before I go is that there are fossils of metasequoia found here in BC.
No.
So the question is, does that make it a native species or not? I'll leave that one with you.
Well, okay. I'll chew on that one, Dan.
Chew on that. Yes. Okay.
Thanks,
see you
buddy.
next week.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, that's interesting.
Metasequoia, that's one of the plants, Ken, that was only known in fossil form up until early part of the 1900s, and they found a sample up in Tibet.
Oh.
Metasequoia is just, they thought it was only in fossil form. And there's been a couple of plants like that. In fact, the most infamous right now, the most recent is the woolly pine.
Yeah.
The Willemia nobilis, which is was found in Australia in this big, deep cavern.
Yeah, gully.
A botanist, an amateur botanist, he wasn't a professional, but an amateur botanist, was hiking down there, rappelling down into this deep cavern kind of canyon in Australia, and came across this tree that had this bark on it, like a mature tree, had bark on it that looked like bubbling toffee.
Yeah.
The bark, it had this, it looked like it was bleeding, but it wasn't. It was a bubbling toffee type bark. Huh. And of course there were some seedlings around, and there was some seed. So he brought that up and started growing it. So anybody who's interested in that, it's a fantastic story.
It really is.
Noble was the guy that was the name, so that's why they call it Willemia, which is, I believe, something to do with where it was found. Wollemi, they call it a woolly pine. So they call it Willemia nobilis because, of course, you're going to discover a plant, you might as well name it after yourself.
Absolutely.
So
these were not small either. There, I hear there were
huge trees.
Huge trees down in this big canyon, and where not many people have gone, or who anybody who had gone previously didn't have any idea that those were different or unusual.
Well, that's right. They just didn't notice how different they were. It took a botanist to...
Yeah, it was the only place they existed. And now, because this was, how many years ago was that?
About 1995, 96, I believe.
When they first did,
They first found it.
Even 30 years ago or so. Yep. So now, with that in mind, now you can actually go to Vancouver, and they actually have some there for sale.
Yes.
And some of them, I think that they are all tissue culture, I think.
Yes.
So they're clones of each other.
Clones of the original. Yep.
Yeah, so, but it is a fascinating thing.
I had one, I got it from Brian Minter years ago. I had one, and it lived for a couple of years, and then it got a root rot and died. It was a beautiful plant. I just was so pleased to have it. But in the big picture, it really isn't a plant it's like saying, oh, somebody gave me a blue spruce, or somebody gave me a Douglas fir. Isn't that nice? We'll keep it as a ornamental plant. Well, it wants to be 50 feet tall.
Yeah.
So you're not going to keep it an ornamental plant, and it's not hardy enough to live in the Okanagan. It's hardy enough to live down at the coast. You might get some of those Willemia nobilis growing down there.
Yeah, I wonder though. We had the -10 last year, even down.
Yeah.
I don't think it would survive that.
Well, Kew Gardens has some, and Edinburgh Botanic Gardens
and they
has
had a couple cold snaps.
Yeah, and I think they'll take some frost, but they won't take
not a huge amount.
Hard frost. But
they're actual tropical, but they just along the same lines, the Ericaria, which is the
monkey
the
puzzle.
Norfolk Island pine, and monkey puzzle. But the Norfolk Island pine is even more tropical.
Oh yes,
and the Norfolk Island pines, they're sold everywhere, and people buy them and bring them in, and they keep them, and they do pretty good as a houseplant. But same issue is they want to be a 200-foot high tree, and they grow pretty quick. I mine, any ones that I've had, I had several over the years, and I could only keep them for about 2 to 3 years. And on the year 3, they were touching the ceiling, and they were trying to get out of the house. They're like, I got to get out of here. Like, what's going on?
It's almost a shame to prune them. But, you kind of have to. My jacaranda, I didn't prune it this year, Ken. I brought the thing in. It's just crammed up against the window.
Well, because you can get flowers.
I want to see it bloom before I pass from this world. We're going to take a short break. Speaking of that, we got to take a short break now, and we'll do that, and we'll be back with more of the Garden Show after this short break. That's how you do it, folks. Just give us a call. We'd just love to talk to you. Joe, welcome to the show, Joe.
Good morning. Thank you for your program.
Oh, you're welcome.
I always really enjoy it. I
good.
have a problem with my amaryllis. It has on how they have that beautiful long leaf?
Yes.
And it has kind of sticky white stuff. When the first plant, I cut the leaves off and threw them out, but now my second plant's doing it too, and I don't know why, and I don't know how to correct it, because to wipe it, it's just sticky.
Yeah, is it kind of like snow flocking, the little...
Yes.
Yeah. That's mealybug. Now, it's first time in all my 75 years I've heard of mealybug on amaryllis, but I can see it happening. But it's very rare. What I've been doing, I've got a greenhouse full of succulents, and they are so prone to two things, scale and mealybug. So I've got my eyes open all the time watching, and I bring Ken in sometimes to have a second set of eyes, and Dan Bruce as well come in, and both every time they come in, they spot something, But we keep an eye on it, and I've been using rubbing alcohol.
Oh, okay.
And I got it in a little spritzer, and I found no phytotoxicity whatsoever. I've been practicing with it and playing with it. And you put rubbing alcohol right onto a mealybug, and it dies.
Yeah.
And also, there's a product called Dr. Doom House and Garden Spray, and it has some synthetic pyrethroid in it. And alternating with the rubbing alcohol and this Dr. Doom, I've got really good control over any of those things. We spot them the other day, those scales.
Oh, yeah.
I've cleaned them off, and I got nice new growth coming on that little aloe now.
And that's one of the keys is whenever I find them, I first just get rid of them immediately by touching them. If you touch them, it kills them, right? So I just touch them with my finger and kill any of the adults that I see running around. And that helps to reduce the spread of eggs. But then as Don's saying, sometimes you just see a tiny little fleck of white sort of powdery stuff here or there. And you know what? That's potentially an egg mass or something. So that's where especially that spritz.
Because
spritz
it's so
of rubbing
sticky.
alcohol.
Yeah, and the stickiness is evidence of scale or mealybug. So that's what you want to do. And I think wiping them off, Joe, the way you've been doing that, wiping off the leaves with a damp cloth. The other thing that people have used, and it's only registered as a plant shine, and that is Oh heavens! It's a product. I'll remember it, and I'll bring it up later after I remember.
Horticultural oil works.
Really horticultural oil works as well. Yes,
which you can get that. When you buy the dormant oil kits, it comes with horticultural oil in it.
Yes.
But and it's beautiful and clean, lovely product. And what I would do there is I've done different things. So like for spider mites, oh my God, I have really good control with the dormant oil just by spritzing it onto the bottoms of the leaves or wherever the spider mites live, and they're gone. Like as soon as you do that, so they're done. You just have to watch it. It's kind it's an oily type product, so it can drip on things. So
Yeah.
I have a little drop cloth, and I throw that down and put it in, and then I can spritz it. But the dormant oil is pretty non-toxic.
These are all low toxicity materials.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thanks for calling. Bye-bye.
First time ever I've heard of mealybug on amaryllis, but I can see it happening.
I can see it happening.
Yeah.
I think I did have one time,
Yeah.
and it was. It's funny that particular amaryllis didn't make it. It actually died. So it maybe sometimes that's what happens. A plant's a little bit sick and it's giving off the scent. Usually it's hormones.
Vultures come in.
Yeah, and then in come the insects. Afterwards.
Yeah,
so the plants generally get sick first, and then the bugs come after that. So
they do communicate.
But
we've got Eric joining us. Good morning, Eric.
Morning, Ken Don. How's it going today?
Great.
Good, thanks.
Rainy, yeah?
It is rainy, but we love it. Like Dan Bruce said, we love the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's always good to have.
Yeah.
It was a good time to put dormant spray on now, or to let the leaves fall first.
Copper.
Usually, yeah. What kind of trees do you have?
I got peaches and the cherry trees.
Yeah, I'm more inclined to do, as Don says, the copper spray is the one to do at this time of year. And you can do it, like if the leaves are starting to drop, you might as well sort of let them drop. But you just need to be, well above freezing, meaning like 5 to 10 degrees above freezing Celsius. So plus 5, plus 10 degrees Celsius is about right for spraying. So it's a little tricky. And obviously you got to have about 24 hours without precipitation, because it'll sometimes just wash off what you're putting on. You kind of want to spray it, like to coat the tree with it, and then let it dry on, and then whatever happens after that doesn't matter so much, and it'll protect the tree from diseases over winter. And then for the insects, that's where the dormant oil comes in the springtime, and you can apply that to, and as Don has often said, is don't do it too early in the spring. Wait, again, temperatures are around 10 degrees Celsius, and generally by the time you get up that high, the insects are starting to move around on the plant a little bit. And that means it's good timing to do dormant sprays. And on things like peaches, you can do the dormant oil lime sulfur combination, which has the disease and insect control. And but just no lime sulfur on apricots. You got to make that note. Anybody out there listening, you got to keep the lime sulfur off those apricots.
What about for new trees?
Same.
Yeah,
pretty much the same.
Yeah. New trees are good. Fine. That same recipe is good for just about anything. Copper is one of the best things to apply in the fall, because once it does dry on, if you can get it to dry onto the tree, it just acts like a sealant that prevents diseases from getting in.
And I've had really good luck with copper on roses early in the season when they leaf out as a preventative for mildew and whatnot. So, Eric, we got to move on, but we appreciate your call.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy.
And
yeah,
thanks for good. What I need questions, you answer them. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks
for tuning in.
Take care. We've got Sandy joining us. We got a couple of minutes here.
Yeah, good morning.
Hey, how are you
Sandy,
doing?
how's it going?
Good. Just an update on my celery root ball.
Oh, yes.
I'm getting sprouts coming through.
All right. That's awesome.
And it was just the root ball.
Yeah, so you chopped the top off and you just planted the root, and it's starting to shoot up.
Getting these, but they're really skinny.
Yeah. They need
Am I going to use it like parsley, or can I make it bigger?
Yeah, what happens is it's like sunlight equals flavor. And so what happens if they're growing indoors, or even just at this time of year, the sun's not very bright, and we're not getting the photons hitting the plant at full blast. So you do lose out on a lot of the flavor aspect of it. But if you had a very high quality grow light, you could actually get that. Like I have these high pressure sodium lights, which they're used for greenhouse growing, and they're quite hot. But they grow nice. You can grow tomatoes or cucumbers or any of those hot loving plants. And now celery, because I'm doing the same thing you're doing.
Can you get them in a small light, like to go into like a grow lamp?
You can get them, I think. Well, they're hot. They burn really hot, right? So you need a special fixture. Typically, the smallest ones I've seen were, I think they were 200 watts, and the ones I have are 600 watts.
Yeah.
And so, but one light does about a 12 by 12 foot area. So
that'd be all I need.
I know, that's what I have. So I have a room that's a fair size, and I just hang it the way you should, and it's got a transformer, and it illuminates the whole room. So what I do is I go around the perimeter of the room with my tropical plants. They don't need quite as much light, but anything right below the light, I could grow just about anything there. I could grow peppers, whatever. So it's kind of
maybe that's a next year project.
Yeah, well,
I did prune all my peppers off, my hot peppers.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of leaving them dormant.
Okay.
And I put them same place I put my poinsettias, so they just get ignored.
Well, sure, yeah. Peppers are a perennial plant, so you can definitely bring them in and protect them so they don't get too cold, and yeah, they'll live from year to year.
Okay. One other thing, I planted a apple seed last early spring because my apple inside had started to sprout. Will a gala apple come up like a gala apple?
No.
No, it's something else.
You'll have a special one, Sandy. You'll have a sandy apple.
Yeah, it might be
very like a candy apple, only with an S.
Yeah, apples are extremely variable from their seeds, and so every once in a while you get a special one that's very delicious and wonderful, and they call it ambrosia, or they call it, they give it a name. So, it probably would take you, I would say, about 4 years
before you get
you get a flower on it, and then once it flowers, then you can try the fruit and say, like, "Oh, that's delicious," or you go, "No, not so much."
We got to take our break here, Sandy. Always great to hear from you.
Yeah,
take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
We're going to take a break for the news, and we'll be back with the Garden Show after this short break. Well, we're back with you, and I can hardly see the mountains behind us here. Out the window, it's pretty cloudy.
Cloudy and spitting rain.
Yeah, but it's lovely, and I've got to go and do a consultation this afternoon. Check out a maple tree that's got an overhanging branch that looks dangerous, so you got to know what to do with all sorts of things you can do with these things, but you got to have a look at them, see what you're going to do, and of course you got to remember that snow load can break a branch off if the attachment's not that good. There's a few ways to mitigate these issues, but So have you ever, back in the day, Ken, you and I were both in retail for years, and sometimes you'd look. It would be either in the greenhouse, the selling area, or out in the nursery, and you'd see a customer, guy or a gal, take a pot, tip the plant out of the pot, and they'd be looking at the root.
So right away, they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
Beware.
It's so important. The roots are so important. That magazine I brought you in was all about the roots, that greenhouse magazine. And it's always been a challenge. You're growing container plants. Root disease, rhizoctonia,
and
pythium.
That's often stimulated by these plants sitting in water. And it happens in nurseries a lot because when you have, say, 10,000 plants in a greenhouse, like, how do you water those? As fast as possible. So they get doused with water. And then sometimes, inevitably, some of them end up sitting in water. And that's going to be a problem.
Well, it doesn't happen quite as much in greenhouse operations because the greenhouse and nursery operations are professionals, and they pretty well much know. Where it happens is when the poinsettias get shipped to the retailers.
Yeah.
And in particular, and we don't like to poo-poo the box stores, but a lot of these places that aren't plant oriented, like a garden center, most of the folks there are oriented to plant health. But in the grocery store, it's just like, and they leave these sleeves on them.
Yeah, I blame the sleeves.
Yeah, but let's blame the sleeves because those sleeves, folks, and that's a good point to bring up right now for the listeners, Ken, is when you're buying a plant from the grocery store or from a garden center, because they often will have the sleeves on there too.
Yeah, the decorative sleeves.
They're decorative, those decorative sleeves.
Especially Christmas.
However, those sleeves act like a saucer. So when you water that plant's just sitting in water.
Yeah.
And there's many plants, poinsettias in particular, that are very susceptible to root disease.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's why you get that customer tipping the plant out of the pot. Don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah.
As long as you know what you're doing, you don't want to mess the plant up and make a mess of it. But just pop it out gently. Just learn how to do that. Tip,
practice.
Pop it out. And have a look at the root. You want to see nice white roots. You don't want to see brown roots. You want to see nice white roots.
Yep,
that's the key.
Exactly, and that's one of the things, like you say, with the poinsettias. What I do is I get that sleeve, and as soon as I get to a point where I'm gonna still put the sleeve into a tray. So my tray that holds the water is under. It's not inside the sleeve; it's under the sleeve, and I just give it a slice on the bottom to let the water out because that water getting trapped in there is not good. And if you get too much water in your tray, you can just dump that out.
Dump it out.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes one of the things we've often done too is putting a couple of pieces of wood or something in the saucer or gravel in the saucer to raise the plant up above that water, and that gives the humidity for the plant too.
Now there is something to be said that if you're really careful, you can water from the bottom.
Yes,
because there are
certain
some
plants.
Really and certain people are really good at it. And I know Dan does that quite a bit. He's a pro and he's got a system that he does. Yep. But yeah, you got to be really careful.
Got to be careful. Sure. We're going to go to the phone lines and we're going to welcome Karen to the show. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question about my hydrangeas. They're Annabelles and they're large. And this year, when the leaves came out, I found out they had a lot of dead wood in them.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to cut them down, and I wondered how far I should cut them down and if I could take out a bunch of the dead wood.
Yeah, well, that's an excellent question, especially on an Annabelle. You can do this procedure. What I do with Annabelles is because of that reason, like especially if it's been left for a few years, and let's say we're just trimming the flowers off, sometimes up to 30 to 40% of the wood, often the stuff that bloomed this year will just die off over the winter and just become like straw, like thin, wispy stems that are dead. And now any of the new shoots that grew this year that didn't flower will often bloom really nicely next year, but they'll shoot right from the bottom. So what I do with plants like that have a lot of stems, is, and I know it's going to bloom on new growth as well, I'll just take that thing right to the ground in the springtime. So right now I go out and I just trim off the dead blooms. I just make it look like a ball just so I have something to look at over winter. And then when I go out in the spring, I'll take like a hedge trimmer or whatever I have, and I take it right to the ground and let it shoot up from the ground. And then what happens is it'll shoot up from the ground and it's all new juvenile growth. You might need to put a peony ring on it, something to support it, because these new shoots from the bottom get quite heavy and they'll all flower and everything, but they'll flop quite a bit. So you want to kind of hold them upright a little and get them up high. And then next year after that, I cut them all to 18 inches. And then I just follow that routine moving forward. And then because I cut it at 18 inches, a lot of the stems that survive actually get fairly strong and they start to thicken up, and it helps to hold them upright. But a lot of them, it always rains when they start to bloom. That's just the way it goes. And then, of course, they flop. So the thing with Annabelles and some other hydrangeas, you need to give them a little bit of support.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to get rid of all that dead wood. I even do that with spireas, the little twiggy spireas. I'll cut them literally right to 1 inch high, right to the ground, and then I let them grow back, and the next year I cut them to 1 foot, and then the next year I cut them to 18 inches, and then the next year I just trim the flowers off, and then the next year back to the ground again.
Well, that's good advice, too, because I have some spirea as well.
Yeah, the summer blooming ones anyway, that's how I do them. The pink ones, yeah.
Well, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, you're very welcome. Thanks for calling in today.
Well, that's a great question, and thank you for giving us a call. Take care.
Yeah, there you go.
Bye-bye now.
Yeah, that's a common thing, and Annabelles are one of those things that they're a little unique because of the way the branches are so. They just turn like straw after a couple of years. Once they die, they have
spread
no
out
strength.
too. They can spread.
They spread almost like it's hard to say, but like a perennial almost. And what I use is I have a mattock. A mattock is a pick with a blade on one end, and I take that blade and go around the perimeter of that hydrangea and just hack off about 8 to 10 inches all the way around the plant, and then it starts to shoot inside more, and it kind of keeps it.
Mattock is a great instrument.
Yes.
Of gardening. A great instrument. You can get picks and mattocks and crowbars.
Yep. You need them, but you know what I like is I found these like a small mattock. It's like a mini mattock.
Okay.
And so it's about maybe 36-inch long handle, but a very light end but a nice sharp blade and a nice sharp pick, but not. It's like it's a mini. It's not.
Keeping them sharp is very, very important.
And as I get older,
some people call them
like
a grub hoe too, don't they?
There's a grub hoe. I'm not sure, because there's also the Pulaski, which is not the same thing. That's got a fireman's axe on one end.
You bet. Okay. I'm just going to check here because we've got a line. Paul from Vancouver's calling in. We've got a few minutes here. Paul, morning.
Morning.
Good morning, guys. I have a simple question. I have a property in the Gulf Islands, and I would call it basically a rural property. And recently I had to put in a new water line, and the guys tore up the property. It was unbelievable. Tore it up, putting in a new water line. And now I have just really ugly ground cover, just raw earth. Right. So I'm looking actually to put down some ground cover, something really, really simple where I throw the seeds down. I'm not talking about a lawn. I'm just talking about a green surface on the property.
Yeah, so what you might want to look at is something like that's part of the clover family. Just because it's so good for the earth, it feeds the earth. It'll survive without irrigation. Some of them, like if you want color, you can get some that bloom, like crimson clover, for example. But you can also just get the standard white clover, the low creeping variety. Yeah. And that stuff it's bulletproof. Like people, they want to get it out of their lawns, but man, is it way more durable than a lawn, and it feeds itself. And in our climate here, we have a dry climate, and it survives without irrigation out here. So you can imagine in your region, I'm sure it'd be fine. Are you shaded there? Do you have a lot of trees around, or?
Yeah, simple answer is yes, but there's a lot of tall trees, like 60-foot trees, but the sun just peeks through and on different parts of the property depending on the time of the day.
Right. So we often call these, they can be called a cover crop, or it can be called a ground cover by seed. And what you're going to look for is maybe something that's a little more shade tolerant. And so this might require a little bit of extra research just to make sure you get something that works. There's no harm in putting down a type of clover because it's kind of bulletproof, and it just improves the environment. I mean, the bees and the pollinators love it, and it's pretty to look at, and it's low maintenance. Now, in the shade, it's going to grow much taller than it would in a sunnier location. But like I say, you can always add more things.
How much of an area do you have to cover?
Oh, let's see.
It's a big area?
About, I would say, 10 feet wide. And 100 feet.
Yeah, so you got a big area. There are reclamation mixes that you can get. I'm not sure where you would go, but you could go to a garden center there in Vancouver, and try 2 or 3 of them. See what they ask for, what they would use as a reclamation mix in that area of the Gulf Islands.
And especially if it's a bit shady and we know there's some moisture.
Yeah. Reclamation mixes for the Okanagan are going to be different than reclamation mixes for that area, for the Gulf Islands. But there will be, and that's a mixture of wild flowers and wild native plants and grasses, and it may be your answer.
But does it have? I don't want to put in anything that I have to cut.
No. Yeah. These are just ground cover reclamation mixes that you can buy. So just check that out, okay?
Okay, very good, guys. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you for the call. We appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. Going to have to take that break. We are at the quarter of the hour, past it, actually, but we won't get fired because we're here.
You betcha.
We'll be back with more of the Garden Show after this short break. Well, Ken, I'm still picking tomatoes. November 2nd, still picking tomatoes in the garden. As a matter of fact, a lot of them are late this year. It's an odd tomato year as far as I'm concerned. Every year is different gardening, and I use the same varieties. Like last year, I didn't have very good luck with my Belamonte, big, large, paste-like Italian tomato. Didn't have very good luck. This year, it's a fantastic plant. We've just been producing all summer. It was one of the earliest ones that we've taken out of the garden. However, there are some that are still on the vine. There's a bunch of still green ones, but we're still picking ripe tomatoes, and we're gonna pick them all, get them all ripening in the kitchen on the table in the kitchen, and we'll just enjoy them. Tomato season. It's Donna from West Kelowna. Donna, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a problem with my Christmas cactus. I never did put it outside this summer, but now all of a sudden, branches are falling off.
Oh, yeah.
Big pieces.
Yeah, starting to decline.
Too much water? No, it can't be too much water, so I don't know.
Well, it can be too much water. It's this whole thing, as long as the plant's not sitting in water, and it does still, the roots have to breathe. So it's just, the question is, if you water it, how long does it take for the thing to dry out before you can water it again? And so that's the only way you just got to check by touching the soil or putting your finger into the soil. We always say they are rainforest plants, but their roots still need to breathe. So if we watered let's say it's 10 days from the time you water till you touch it and it dries out, well, that's when you re-water. So if I was watering every 5 days, I'd be watering twice as much as what it needs. Yeah, so and then that can cause problems. But on the other hand, if they dry out too much, and you know what happened? It happens to me too. I've had some that just, they were going good, everything was fine, and then all of a sudden they went into this decline and they started to drop branches, and I was trying everything, trying to dry them out a bit more, trying to give them a little more water, trying to do everything to keep them going, and they just kept going downhill until they were gone. I actually took some cuttings off of them during the process so that I made sure I kept it going. I got those cuttings going. Yeah.
So it's a root issue, just like you were talking before.
Problem,
but look at, is the foliage withering a little bit, or is it nice and solid when it falls off?
No, it's not really withering, but it's not like I have another, like a regular pink one, and the leaves are like a lot plumper than this. This one is kind of skinny.
Yeah. Well, and you're from West Kelowna, you could probably, take the plant. If you're ever on this side of the lake, on the Kelowna side, you might want to come by and I can have a look at it for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's really weird because I've had them for years and stuff, and all of a sudden this one is like, and I didn't, like, lots of times I'll put them under cover outside for the summer, and I didn't actually do that, so I don't know.
Well, it really is. It's going to be a root issue. There's going to be a root issue, and like Ken said, maybe taking some cuttings might be a good backup if it's a special plant to you. If it's not all that special, it's one of those things.
Well, it's just because it's white. I like it. Wanted to keep it. So taking a cutting, meaning
a couple of nodes,
just put it directly into dirt, or
into soil, into some good, clean potting soil.
Okay.
Not
into a glass of water and wait for a root.
I don't think so. No, you want to put it directly into soil. And they're relatively easy to root.
I should at least try that in case the main plant dies.
Yeah. They're relatively easy to root.
Okay.
Thanks, dear.
Yep. Thanks for calling.
You betcha.
Bye-bye. Mm-hmm.
And we have Maureen calling in from West Kelowna. Good morning, Maureen.
Good morning. I have a Rose of Sharon tree that up until last October was beautiful, and this year it came up dead, and I've left it all year thinking it would come. And much to my surprise now, I have some new shoots coming around the base of the trunk.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if I should take the old skeleton tree down now or leave it till the spring.
Well, you can take it down now. It's the only option you have there because that would be dead. Now, just don't cut down too close to the bottom. Leave a 4 or 5 inches there just to make sure you're not damaging the new stuff coming up. But that new stuff coming up from the base, are they grafted? I don't think
rhododendron?
No, this is Rose of Sharon.
Oh, Rose of Sharon. No, they're not.
They're not grafted.
Not
so
grafted,
what's coming up at the base should be true.
Yeah,
it's frozen.
True, yeah.
And what's happened is that January business we had. We're blaming everything on the January freeze, but I think in this case we're correct. It's not false. We're not making. Well,
it's common on those all around town that they've suffered, and some survived. Many of them froze right out. Like I had one in my front yard, very exposed. It died. I had one in the backyard, was protected, and it got some dead wood in it. I cut that out, but it came back, and it's okay now.
Yeah. No, this would have been exposed though.
Yeah, so it just froze.
Yeah.
So I'll cut down the old part and leave the stump up a bit.
What color is it, Maureen?
It's white with a rose center.
Yeah, that's red heart.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
That is a nice one. And it should come up true.
Okay.
Okay?
Super, thank you.
Thank you, dear.
All right. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye now.
Yeah, and feed that one in the springtime, too, is a good idea.
And give it a good feeding if you're still listening, Maureen.
First thing in the spring.
A good feeding in the spring to get it going. Yep. Betty is joining us. Good morning, Betty.
Good morning. How are you?
We're well.
Good,
We're well. Thank you.
Just a quick question about my cosmos. Do they reseed themselves? Like mine went wild this year. I and I love them, and I wonder, do I have to pull them out now or what? Because they're about 4 feet tall.
Well, I have tons of them too. I plant new ones every year because I always like certain colors, or my wife particularly likes certain colors. And what they do is they do self-seed. And actually the birds love the seeds too. So I just leave them until they're completely dead, at the end of the season, because some of them are still going. And the birds will come in, they'll eat those seeds, and then I go out and just rip them all out. But the birds are scattering the seeds everywhere, and those seeds come up every year. So they're not the earliest seed to germinate, but they get up in time so that we get flowers in August and September. So yeah.
So I should pull them out though, so they don't look messy all winter.
Yeah, it's strictly a cosmetic thing.
Okay, thank you. I've just been amazed because they've been so beautiful all year,
I love them.
I love success.
Yeah, and they make a good cut flower, too. You can cut them and make little vases.
And they last
Not
a
bad.
week in the house. They're wonderful.
Yeah, really good.
Well,
Awesome.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Betty. Appreciate the call.
Bye.
Take care now.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I've we've been gradually getting our garden winterized and whatnot. There's a few things I'm going to have to do yet before the winter, and one is to erect my protection for my fig tree.
Yep.
It froze right down last winter. It froze right to the ground.
And that was with heat and with all kinds. Well,
I must say, Ken, I think maybe the heater failed me or something. I don't know, because usually with that heater in there, it should have been fine. But I think I didn't get at it quite quick enough when that big blast came on in January. I might have.
You should try this, because I know a lot of people down in the coastal areas in Victoria and in those areas. What they do sometimes when they have a tree that's a bit tender is they decorate it with Christmas lights, and they'll decorate it with. And if you can get incandescent lights, it's even better, because those are a little bit warmer. And you just wrap the whole tree in it, and you just put it on a timer to go on at night when it's cold. And when it gets really cold, you leave it on all day and all night. And, it can actually keep the stems from freezing and everything. It's actually a very smart idea. And with your little greenhouse cover, it's pretty cool. And if the power goes out or something goes wrong, you know it, because you look out your window and you go, my lights are out.
Ken, I think I've got an old string of outdoor incandescent Christmas lights.
Yep.
Good idea. I'm going to put them on the fig, but I'm also going to...
you had a heating cable at the base, which I really like that idea, too. That was kind of cool. It's a little
we'll
colder here in the Okanagan. We'll get down to that minus 20 typically on a normal winter, and just last year with that minus 33.
Well, that really nailed things. It'd be interesting to know if anyone from Victoria lost their fig or had it damaged, didn't lose it, but had it frozen back. See how cold it will take. And there's lots of different varieties of figs. The one I have is called Chicago, and it's supposed to be relatively hardy.
Yeah, what I hear is that they're generally good to minus 8, minus 10 degrees Celsius is okay. Yeah. But it's not always how cold it gets, right?
Yeah, how long it stays cold. We're going to take a break here at the bottom of the hour and just a short break. That's all we do at the bottom of the hour, and we'll be back with The Garden Show after this short break. We're back with you on I always say, beautiful Saturday morning, and it is a little cloudy, a little rainy, a little foggy, but it is a beautiful day, especially to get out and do some cleanup in the garden. Ken has had to leave. He is now going to speak at the Master Gardeners AGM meeting today, and which is great. They're going to enjoy his talk. Right now, I'm flying solo, so there you go. We got Vicki joining us from West Kelowna. Good morning, Vicki.
Well, good morning. I hope I don't scare you too badly when you're by yourself.
No, you're not scared at all. I've done this. I'm a trained professional.
Okay. My son's been given a plant. It's 7 or 8 feet tall, and it kind of looks like a corn stalk. Does that give you a hint of what it is? It has broad leaves all the way up. I don't know what you'd call them.
Right.
Like long, skinny leaves. So anyway, what we're wondering is if we can cut the top 3 feet off, peel off the bottom leaves, sprinkle a little rooting hormone in the pot, and then repot it, the top half.
No question. That is a Dracaena. A Dracaena is a common name corn plant. And there's a variegated one, and there's a green one out there that's common. And, I've rooted lots of them. They're actually quite easy to root. But like you say, what you just described is about right. Now, you want to, I don't know how big a plant it's going to be. Is it 3 feet tall? You're going to...
Right now, it's 7 or 8 feet tall.
Yeah, so you're going to cut about 3 feet off it?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would say for that, you'd want to put it into... probably a 5-gallon pot, but a 2-gallon pot would work as long as you could support the plant somehow physically so it doesn't fall over. You don't need, sometimes the bigger the pot, the more apt you're going to get some root disease getting in there and whatnot. It's better to start in a smaller pot. But you're going to have to support the plant physically because a 2-gallon pot's not going to hold that plant up.
Yes. So we could do a frame around the outside of the...
Yeah.
And put it in the middle. Okay.
And also, you want to use nice, good, clean potting soil.
Oh, yeah, one of the bags of Scots or something.
That's fine,
yeah. Okay. And the other thing is, it has all these little babies coming out the bottom. So do you just pick them off, or
You can if you get a little tiny bit of root with those babies, that's really cool.
Okay.
Dig down and cut off one of those little pups. They call them pups. And as long as if you can get just a little bit of that orangey root on them, that would even be better.
Okay.
And you can separate those and grow them. Now, having said that, once you cut that top off, everything's going to explode at the bottom of that plant and really start wanting to grow. So you can pick and choose what you want to keep and regrow a plant in the original pot.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So that was another question I was going to ask you is once we cut the top off, is it going to be disastrous?
No, because it'll probably, where you cut it, it'll probably branch out there and you'll have a double stem going up.
Oh, so it would be a good idea to not just cut 3 feet off, go down lower and cut.
Right. 3 feet is your maximum you want to do for a cutting. But you can take it down, take another couple of feet off it to bring it down lower, and it'll branch out at that point.
Okay. So if we have like this 5 feet in the middle, will that grow?
Yep.
Like
you can make that. You can do the same thing with that piece in the middle too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Start your own nursery.
Listen, I've got about 60 geraniums going right now. So
good for you.
So that would be a nursery, I guess.
Well, you can always tell a keener when she's got a bunch of geraniums growing in the house.
Yeah, I often wonder if I'm wasting electricity with all the lights going on them.
Well, yeah.
But
well, there could be something said about that, but you know what? As far as the cost of it goes, people spend a lot more on snowmobiles than we do on plants.
Oh, so. True. That's
there you
true.
go.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I feel so much more positive about this.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me know. Let us know how you make out.
Yeah, and transporting it, we can cut it down to transport it into lengths that are usable. Oh, okay. Yep. We don't have to take it as a big thing. Nope. Excuse me, and we should keep what's in the pot. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. We should keep what's in the pot growing.
Yeah, let it grow. Yep.
Not take it out of the pot.
No, let it do its thing. It'll regrow for you.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Okay, Vicki. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Now. And we have Addie joining us. Good morning, Addie.
Good morning, Don. How are you today?
Excellent. I just got through Halloween, which was really something else. We had 120 kids show up.
Wow. See, we get none in our complex. They don't allow it, which is too bad. I go over to my son's, and even then, this year, there weren't many kids. I guess the neighborhoods are getting a little older, and just Halloween. And so many different places put out their containers of the candy, and you can just take as much as you want.
Oh, there you go.
Halloween's not what it used to be.
No, it isn't what it used to be, but nothing is, Addie, so we don't want to complain.
And whatever happened to Gate Night?
Whatever happened to which?
Gate Night.
The
night before Halloween, when everybody did all the tricks and everything?
Yeah.
You didn't know that? Okay, anyway, so that's
probably a Winnipeg thing.
Probably is. Anyway, back to my fig tree.
Yes.
Now, mine is still outside.
Mm-hmm.
Can it be a house plant, or does it have to...
Well, you can keep it outside, Addie, until we get 5, maybe up to 10 degrees of frost, and it's going to lose its foliage. And at that point, if it's going to get colder than that, then you want to bring it in during those real cold snaps. Just bring it in and then keep it out if the weather stays like minus 10 or warmer.
Minus 10 Celsius?
Yes, or warmer.
Wow, okay. So in the meantime, and then after that, I can just put it in my shed. Because I don't think it gets much colder in the shed than that. And if it does, I have a heater that I can put in there. Is that the same thing with the Brugmansia?
No, Brugmansia is not going to take nearly the amount of frost that your fig will. Brugmansia may take a degree or two, but without hurting the actual wood of the Brugmansia. But you're not going to be able to give it too much frost. There's no question about that. Okay, different than the fig.
Minus 2 or 3.
Like I don't think. It'd be interesting to hear from someone from Victoria if they keep their Brugmansias out, but I don't think they do. I think they'd freeze in Victoria too if they left them outside. But if you stay tuned, somebody might call in and let us know.
Okay, so in the shed is okay if I think it probably goes down to about minus 12.
Yeah, that's not good for the Brugmansia, but it might be all right for the fig.
For the fig, okay.
What have you done in the past, Addie?
Well, it's a brand new one. They're both brand new. The figs are brand new, and it was given to me, and it had little figs this year actually.
Okay.
And so I don't know what to do with it, but I guess it's a good experiment for this winter.
Well, yeah. See how you make out with it. But I mean, the fig's going to take a lot more frost than the Brugmansia.
Okay, so maybe the Brugmansia should. Now, will the Brugmansia work in as a house plant?
Yes.
Oh, it will. Eh?
Yes.
Oh, okay. As long as it's not does it need bright light?
Well, it needs as much light as you can give it, Addie, and it's not going to be the same robust plant by the time spring comes, but they do recover once you get them outside. A lot of plants are like that. You know, I've had several plants like Brugmansias and various other mandevillas, vines, and things like that really are tropical, and they'd rather be outside all the time in a nice warm environment. So bringing them in the house is somewhat helpful, but they do, because of the lack of light in the house, they do suffer some. But they always pop back, it seems, in the spring once you get them going.
Well, as long as they pop back, it's okay.
Yep.
So I could cut the Brugmansia down a bit because it's quite widespread. It was quite nice this year, and it's not too tall because it's its first year. So I can just cut it down to about maybe 2 feet off the ground.
Oh, sure. And what color is it?
It's a kind of with a funny color. It's sort of a purpley white.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah,
that's interesting. That's not as the yellow is a common one, and of course white and pink. But that purpley white one is a different one. But I've seen them.
Yeah, it's a different color. It's really quite nice. So, okay, Don, thank you very much.
Thank you, Addie.
Have a great weekend.
You as well. Take care. Thanks for the call. Yeah, Addie was one of our very first callers way back when, and she's phoned in fairly regularly. We really appreciate her, and she makes the best pierogies in the neighborhood. So there you go. I think we're going to take a break. We've got a caller coming in here, but I want to take a break, so we got time to talk to this caller. So we're going to do that, and we'll be back with the Garden Show after this short break. You betcha. We're back with you, and Ariel is giving us a call. Good morning, Ariel, another long-time listener.
Yeah, I usually get in first, don't I? But I didn't have anything to say until I forgot something and then remembered it.
You don't forget anything. I can't believe you forgot something.
Kamchaticum. Okay, I go nuts with this plant because, in the summertime it looks beautiful. Then in the wintertime, it looks like, crap. So I feel like I want to just cut everything right down. Should I do that?
What plant are you speaking of?
Kamchaticum, the sedum kamchaticum.
Oh, the sedum. Yeah, well, yeah, you can cut it back. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. And
you can make cuttings out of it, too.
Well, sure, I know that, but I've got too much of it around here. So, but I thought, you know what, I should ask you because I usually leave them and then they go all mushy and
Well, yeah. But cutting them back is fine, and they'll stool out at the base.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
You're a sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Okay, dear. Thanks for the call.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. And we have a caller online is Monica from Oliver. Good morning, Monica.
Good morning. How are you?
We are well, thanks. Nice to hear from you.
Great. Thank you. I've got a question for you. Mm-hmm. So, for 3 years, I have bought a fig plant, and I heard you talk about the fig tree earlier. Mm-hmm. This year, through the whole summer, it was gorgeous. It grew. It's got big leaves, and I thought, I'm going to bring it inside. Within 24 hours, all of the leaves have dropped off of it, and it's literally just one stalk. But it has little green buds on it. Mm-hmm. What can I do with it? If anything, can I save it? I'd really love to see if I can grow this thing.
Now, you're talking about an edible Turkish fig, right?
Okay, sure.
Is that what you're talking about? Like big leaf Turkish fig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, not like a weeping fig, like a Benjamin, Ficus benjamin or anything like that.
No, this had that little fig on it when I bought it from this little Portuguese lady.
Okay, perfect. Now, what can happen, and this leaf drop just happened suddenly and just recently?
Yeah, as soon as it was beautiful, I brought it inside. I thought, they're getting heavy frost. I want to try and keep it, winterize it. I brought it in, and within like 24 hours, it dropped all its leaves. But where it has a little green nodule on it that looks like it's going to sprout.
My thinking is this, Monica. I don't think you've got a real serious problem here. I think, now, you didn't get any frost.
Well, I got it in before the heavy frost.
Okay, because even just a slight frost will cause them to drop their leaves.
Yeah, it might have touched.
Well, this is what I'm suspecting because, oh boy, first frost we get in our backyard, the fig just collapses. Okay. All the leaves come off the fig right off the bat suddenly. And when you say it was a sudden thing, I'm thinking it might have got a little bit of frost, which is fine. It's not going to hurt it at all.
Okay.
And those green nodules. Cut a little tiny piece of branch, or take a knife.
There's no branch left.
Well, what I meant was take a little slice of the thing, and make sure that the white sap comes out. Make sure it's and that's an indication that the thing's fine. It's still living. Because if you take a little cut into the bark, just a small one, just to see. Yeah. And then if there's some white sap coming out, then you're pretty good.
And then I should keep it in through the winter. I do have grow lights that I have on my other plants, and I put it beside it. Is that okay? Well,
it's all right. It's gonna think it's spring again, so it's going to want to leaf out inside. And if you don't have a lot of light, it's going to, like we were talking about earlier with the Bergmansia and that sort of thing. They can look a little ratty in the spring. But personally, you're from Oliver. Personally, what I would do, and it kind of depends on the variety of fig, but most figs will take 5 to 10 degrees minus 5 to 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, they'll take that weather. So what I mean, we in the Okanagan here, there's always this window, this moment that takes us out of that coastal zone. And it's a matter of like last year, it was that darn January freeze that just knocked us out. And there's also, you just watch the weather like a hawk. If it's portable, my suggestion is...
Yeah, I got it on wheels.
Yeah, if it's portable, my suggestion is keep it close to where you can tuck it inside if it gets really cold, and then put it back outside when it warms up.
So I should, if I leave it on my deck by the house, it's a covered deck, that'd be a good thing?
Well, yes, but if it's going to get to be like that ridiculous amount of cold, like 20 below, 30 below stuff, you want to bring it in. It won't it won't manage that.
Okay.
But it'll manage, 5 to 10 below.
Okay, so the leaves all dropping is cool. Like I thought, but then I seen the little green nodules, and I thought, maybe not.
No,
maybe
I think you're okay. If they were turning yellow and gradually dropping here and there, might be a different story. But boy, all it takes is one light frost, and those leaves drop like anchors.
Well, that's what it did. Okay, thank you very much. And I'm going to see how it goes. I'll phone you in the spring to let you know whether it made it through the winter.
Yeah, give us a shout. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, dear. Bye-bye. Yeah, and that's what I really, really promote, the fact that, let us know how you're making out. We have a question, we try and fix it, and let us know later on, how did you make out? Was that successful or was it not successful? So I'm hard at work making door prizes for our trip to Seattle. That's one of my things I love to do when we take our trip on the bus. Everybody gets a door prize of something I've made in my workshop. And boy, did I get dusty. Because, when I'm making these boxes, I do the box end things and I glue them all. Then I have to sand the outside so they're all smooth, right? Well, the dust. I've got dust collectors in my shop that are quite advanced and whatnot, but still the dust flies. And so, I got it all through my beard and whatnot. So I had to really clean up before I got in the house. Not allowed in the house after I've been in the shop getting all dusty. I want to remind people to take advantage of the green bin system. One of the best. Now, I'm not sure exactly how it works in Victoria or Penticton. Maybe somebody can tell me that at some point. But in the central Okanagan, in Kelowna, we have a system where we have the green bin, where we fill our green bins up with our garden refuse, and it goes in to make the Glenmore grow, and that sort of thing. The city of Kelowna does this, which is a great idea, and it's been wonderful because years ago you'd let all this green stuff pile up, but finally you have to take it to the dump or do whatever you do with it. Whereas now you just keep adding to the green bin, and if the green bin fills up, it empties, then it comes back and keep filling it up. And we got one of the jumbo green bins, which is kind of cool. Really enjoying it. So I got my geraniums and my cannas are just sitting outside the greenhouse waiting to go in. I'm enjoying them right now. I'm enjoying them outside, and you might as well do that until until things start to really freeze up and whatnot. And just another winterizing thing that I had to do was I got Whitemans to come in, tune up the greenhouse heater. Got a little Modine hotshot gas-fired heater in there in the greenhouse. And it's the same kind of thing that we had in the big greenhouses back in the day when we had an acre heated under glass. And this little Modine is in good shape, and she's all fired up, ready to go. Fires up about 5 or 6 times a night now to keep the greenhouse at 21 degrees. I keep it at about 21 degrees in there, which is great for my tropicals and all my plants and whatnot. But I'm enjoying it. I've got the heater going, and of course I've shut down all my cooling system in the greenhouse, tidied things up, organized stuff, and everybody's in their little place tucked in for winter and is not going anywhere. So we're quite enjoying it. But one thing, when you've got a greenhouse full of valuable plants, it's hard to get away in the winter because they're vulnerable. If you're away and the greenhouse freezes, I know my good buddy Dwayne Amandrud, who had this beautiful plant collection, which I have some of. He's since passed away, unfortunately, but he had a large greenhouse, and years ago, back 30 years ago, he had a very large greenhouse full of very, very important tropicals and succulents, and he was out of town, out of the country, had somebody watching the greenhouse, and unfortunately that person messed up, and it froze, the greenhouse froze, and hey, that's not a good thing when the greenhouse freezes, because he lost everything. So I just don't want that to happen. I've got all sorts of fail-safe measures. I've got a generator set up if the electricity goes out. I've got a backup 220 burner electric heater. If the gas furnace messes up, the gas will never shut down probably, but the gas furnace could mess up. So there you go. That's what we have. We're getting there. Ken's not here to do his tips, so I'm starting the tips a bit late, but I think we'll do that right now. The garden, the tips of the week, and the plants of the week, and then we'll be out of here. My tip of the week is this. We talk about this a lot. Try and embrace the Latin names or the botanical names for plants. You don't have to go nuts with it. You don't have to be, the Mr. Expert or Mrs. Expert botanist or whatever, but boy, once you start embracing it and knowing how the system works, it's the best way to identify plants and keep the actual name going. Because if you don't do that, you end up having the common names, which really don't make a lot of sense, because a lot of common names are given to the same different plants, so you don't want that. My plant of the week, and actually it's 2 of them, and that is the geranium, regular geraniums, and the pansies, because they're doing so darn well right now. They are just really doing well. So that's my plants and my tips and plants. My Shigo quote of the week this week is 100 million carbon atoms in a line would measure about 3 centimeters. Well, that's heavy, eh? That's deep. We're going to see you next week with more of The Garden Show.